Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun!
Cillian stepped into the sprawling modern house, the key fob beeping softly as the security system disarmed. Sarah's place was a testament to her success, a sleek architectural marvel perched on a hillside, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. As her trusted assistant, he'd been tasked with house-sitting while she attended a week-long conference abroad. It was a simple gig: water the plants, collect the mail, ensure everything ran smoothly. But the solitude stirred something deeper in him, a secret he'd harbored for years. He wandered through the open-plan living area, his brown hair catching the afternoon light filtering through the blinds. The house felt alive with Sarah's presence, even in her absence. Her sharp suits hanging in the closet, her collection of high-end perfumes on the vanity. Cillian had always admired her, the way she commanded boardrooms with effortless poise. She was the CEO of a thriving tech firm, and he was her right-hand man, handling schedules and logistics with quiet efficiency. As evening fell, he decided to do a load of laundry, more out of habit than necessity. Opening the dryer in the utility room, he pulled out a tangle of fabrics. Among them was a pair of sheer nude pantyhose, unmistakably Sarah's. Expensive, high denier, the kind that whispered luxury. He held them up, the material shimmering under the fluorescent light. A familiar thrill coursed through him. For years, he'd cross-dressed in private, stealing moments to explore that hidden side of himself. It wasn't just about the clothes, it was the transformation, the shift in how he felt inside. Glancing around the empty house, he made a decision. In his overnight bag, he'd packed a navy business dress, tailored and professional, something he'd bought on a whim during a solo trip. It was his secret indulgence, never worn outside his apartment. He slipped into the guest bathroom, heart pounding. First, the pantyhose, smooth against his skin, hugging his legs with a subtle sheen. Then the dress, zipping up the back, falling just above the knees. He adjusted the fit, stepping into a pair of low heels he'd also brought. Looking in the mirror, he saw not Cillian, but someone else emerging, a version of himself that felt powerful, authoritative. Emboldened, he moved to Sarah's home office, a space lined with bookshelves and a massive oak desk. The room exuded control, much like Sarah herself. He sat in her chair, crossing his legs, the pantyhose whispering as they shifted. Pretending to be her, he imagined leading meetings, making decisions that shaped industries. The intoxicating sense of authority washed over him, making his pulse quicken. For the first time, he felt truly aligned with that ambition he'd always sensed bubbling beneath his surface. Hours slipped by as he role-played, drafting mock emails on a notepad, practicing confident gestures in the reflection of the window. The city lights twinkled below, a sea of possibilities. He lost track of time, immersed in this private empowerment. The front door clicked open unexpectedly. Cillian froze, his breath catching. Sarah wasn't due back for days. Footsteps echoed through the hall, sharp, purposeful. She appeared in the office doorway, her travel bag slung over her shoulder, expression shifting from surprise to something unreadable. She took in the scene, her assistant, dressed in a navy business dress and her own pantyhose, seated at her desk. "Cillian." Her voice was steady, not accusatory. He stood, cheeks flushing, but he didn't scramble to explain or hide. The moment hung heavy, charged with potential disaster. Sarah set her bag down, stepping closer. She studied him, her eyes lingering on the dress, the pantyhose, the way he held himself with unexpected poise. Instead of anger or dismissal, a spark of recognition flickered in her gaze. "You look different. But there's something there. Ambition, isn't it? I see it in your eyes. The same fire I had when I started climbing the ladder." He nodded, voice barely above a whisper. "I've always admired you, Sarah. It's who I am, in a way." She didn't fire him. Instead, she pulled up a chair, gesturing for him to sit again. "Tell me more, and let's give this version of you a name, Brielle. It suits the executive I see emerging." From that night forward, Sarah became his mentor, guiding Brielle through the transition. She helped with wardrobe choices, starting with professional outfits that accentuated Brielle's newfound confidence. The navy dress became a staple, paired with the sheer nude pantyhose that had sparked it all. Brielle's brown hair was styled in a sleek bob, framing her face as she practiced presentations in front of Sarah. The next morning, Sarah arranged for a stylist to visit the house. They worked together in the sunlit living room, selecting blouses, skirts, and accessories from Sarah's extensive collection, adapting them to Brielle's frame. "Posture is key," Sarah instructed, demonstrating how to stand tall, shoulders back. Brielle mirrored her, feeling the shift in her demeanor. The pantyhose, now a permanent part of her ensemble, added a layer of sophistication, making every step feel deliberate. By afternoon, they moved to the office, where Sarah shared stories of her early career struggles, overcoming biases, seizing opportunities. "You have that same drive," she said, handing Brielle a tablet with company reports. "Read these. Tell me your thoughts." Brielle dove in, her insights surprising even herself. Sarah nodded approvingly, suggesting refinements, building Brielle's analytical skills. As days turned into weeks, the mentorship deepened. Sarah introduced Brielle to breathing exercises for confidence, teaching her to modulate her voice for authority in meetings. They role-played negotiations, with Brielle taking the lead, her navy dress becoming a symbol of her evolving identity. The house, once a temporary haven, transformed into a training ground. Brielle never reverted to her old presentation. The transition was absolute, her female attire a constant, woven into every aspect of her routine. One evening, over dinner at the kitchen island, Sarah opened up about her own vulnerabilities. "I wasn't always this put together. There were times I doubted myself." Brielle listened, sharing fragments of her secret cross-dressing history, the isolation it brought. Their bond strengthened, mentor and protege forging a path together. Sarah began incorporating Brielle into virtual calls, introducing her as a new executive assistant in training. Brielle's brown hair caught the webcam light as she contributed ideas, her voice steady. Colleagues responded positively, unaware of the full story, but impressed by her acumen. To expand Brielle's horizons, Sarah arranged a visit to a local boutique specializing in professional women's wear. They spent the afternoon trying on suits, tailored jackets in charcoal gray, pencil skirts in deep burgundy. Brielle selected several pieces, each enhancing her executive presence. The sheer nude pantyhose remained a staple, paired with new heels that clicked assertively on the store's marble floor. Back at the house, they reviewed footage of Brielle's practice sessions. Sarah pointed out strengths. "Your eye contact is commanding," and areas for growth. "Vary your pacing to build tension." Brielle absorbed it all, refining her approach. She started journaling her progress, noting how the clothes amplified her inner strength. As Brielle's confidence grew, Sarah challenged her with real tasks. "Draft a proposal for the upcoming merger," she said one morning in the office. Brielle worked diligently, her fingers flying over the keyboard, the navy dress sleeves rolled up slightly. Hours later, she presented it, and Sarah's feedback was glowing. "This is executive-level work. You're ready for more." They attended a small networking event together, disguised as a casual gathering at a nearby cafe. Brielle, in a fresh ensemble, a white blouse tucked into a black skirt, sheer pantyhose completing the look, mingled with industry contacts Sarah introduced. She held her own in conversations about market trends, her brown hair swaying as she gestured animatedly. Sarah watched from afar, pride evident in her smile. The mentorship extended to personal development. Sarah taught Brielle about skincare routines, recommending products that enhanced her natural features. Mornings began with shared yoga sessions in the home gym, building physical poise. Brielle's movements became more fluid, her presence more commanding. One weekend, they hosted a mock board meeting in the living room, inviting a few trusted friends of Sarah's to participate. Brielle chaired it, outlining strategies with clarity. The feedback was encouraging. "You've got a natural talent for leadership." Emboldened, Brielle suggested innovations, like streamlining the company's app development process. Sarah recognized Brielle's potential for bigger roles. "We need to think about your future in the company," she said during a late-night discussion on the patio. Stars dotted the sky as they sipped herbal tea. Brielle expressed her aspirations, dreaming of leading projects that could revolutionize the tech sector. To prepare, Sarah enrolled Brielle in an online executive course, focusing on strategic management. Brielle studied late into the nights, her desk lamp illuminating pages of notes. The navy business dress, now a favorite, hung nearby as a reminder of her journey's start. Challenges arose, testing Brielle's resolve. During a simulated crisis scenario Sarah devised, a fictional data breach, Brielle had to coordinate a response team. She navigated the chaos with poise, her voice calm over pretend conference calls. Sarah debriefed afterward. "You handled the pressure well. That's the mark of a true leader." Their relationship evolved into a deep friendship. Sarah shared family photos, stories of her rise from a small-town background. Brielle opened up about her own past, the quiet longing that led to this transformation. They laughed over shared meals, experimenting with recipes in the kitchen, Brielle's apron over her professional attire. As Brielle's skills sharpened, Sarah introduced her to key stakeholders via video. "Meet Brielle, our rising star," she'd say. Brielle presented analyses on emerging technologies, her insights drawing praise. Her brown hair, neatly styled, became part of her signature look, exuding professionalism. One day, they visited the company's headquarters downtown. Sarah gave Brielle a tour, pointing out departments and introducing her informally. Brielle walked the halls in a tailored pantsuit, wide-leg trousers over sheer pantyhose, absorbing the energy. "This could be your domain," Sarah whispered. Back home, they brainstormed Brielle's career path. "Start as a project manager, then aim for director," Sarah mapped out. Brielle added her ideas, envisioning initiatives in sustainable tech. To build resilience, Sarah organized public speaking drills. In the office, Brielle delivered speeches on leadership, recording them for review. Her delivery improved, words flowing with conviction. Socially, Sarah helped Brielle navigate new dynamics. At a women's leadership luncheon, Brielle networked, her navy dress drawing compliments. She formed connections, exchanging business cards. Personal milestones marked progress. Brielle updated her wardrobe with seasonal pieces, light scarves for spring, structured blazers for fall. The sheer nude pantyhose remained constant, a subtle anchor. Sarah celebrated small victories, like when Brielle aced a certification exam. They toasted with sparkling water, planning next steps. As months passed, Brielle took on more responsibilities. She led a small team remotely, coordinating tasks with efficiency. Sarah monitored, offering guidance without micromanaging. One evening, during a strategy session, Brielle proposed a bold acquisition idea. Sarah's eyes lit up. "This could change everything. Let's develop it." They worked collaboratively, refining the plan over coffee-fueled nights. Brielle's input was crucial, her perspective fresh. To enhance presentation skills, Sarah hired a coach. Sessions focused on body language, with Brielle practicing in front of mirrors, her attire impeccable. Community involvement followed. They volunteered at a tech mentorship program for women, Brielle sharing her journey anonymously, inspiring others. Professional growth accelerated. Brielle attended her first in-person conference, presenting a paper on innovation. The audience applauded, validating her transformation. Sarah arranged for Brielle to shadow her at meetings, observing decision-making up close. Brielle took notes, her brown hair tucked behind her ear. Challenges intensified. A real company issue, a supply chain disruption, required Brielle's involvement. She analyzed data, proposing solutions that Sarah implemented. Their bond deepened through travel. A business trip to a nearby city had them sharing a hotel suite, discussing goals late into the night. Brielle's confidence soared. She initiated projects like a diversity initiative, gaining buy-in from colleagues. Sarah reflected on their progress. "You've become the executive I saw in you that first night." As Brielle prepared for a major promotion pitch, tension built. The board meeting loomed, her proposal ready. On the eve of the presentation, they rehearsed in the office. Brielle stood tall, words resonant. The day arrived. Dressed in her navy business dress and sheer nude pantyhose, Brielle entered the boardroom, heart steady. She delivered flawlessly, fielding questions with expertise. The board approved, offering her the role of junior executive. Celebrations followed, but as they returned home, Sarah received a cryptic email, a rival firm plotting a takeover. "This isn't over," she said, eyes narrowing. Brielle nodded, ready for the fight, but what hidden threats lurked in the shadows? Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.